Okay, everybody, welcome to the Fitness Business Ignition coaching webinar. This is where you are going to learn where the real money is, and that real money is in the follow-up. So before I get started with today's webinar, I want to let you know, if you are brand new to the Fitness Business Ignition coaching program, that there are two very important things to do. Number one, anyone on this webinar at any given time, if you need more clients, you are going to go into the Fitness Business Ignition Resource Vault, which is the membership site that we've created. And you are going to access that with your username and password, and you are going to watch the past webinars and use the resources on that site. Of course, there's recorded question and answer sessions, there's recorded action and accountability calls, and there are the recordings of all of my past marketing, client getting, email marketing, lead attraction, referral generation webinars. Today's webinar is about something I believe the most important component that is stuck somewhere between getting the lead and then making the sale. And here's what I mean about that. And so we're going to talk about that today. So marketing gets you leads and prospects, which is great. It's awesome. That's exactly what we want to do. Right? We want to get those leads. We want to get the prospects in. We want to get people on your email list. We want to get people to contact you and ask you, how much is it? We want them to opt in for your whatever, one free week trial or free personal training session. We want them to buy your 14-day, 21-day rapid fat loss programs. However, we also want to sell these people and get them as clients, right? So we know that selling will get you clients, but somewhere in between marketing, lead generation, and prospecting, and actually converting them into paying clients, is this little thing called a black hole. And that black hole seems to, how do I say this? Seems to kind of get in the way. I mean, how many times have you had it where someone has opted in for a free trial and you've got their name and email address, possibly phone number, depending on the form on your website, and man, they just haven't come in to take advantage of that free trial? How many times have you had it where you have sold from your website a 14-day fat furnace, 21-day rapid fat loss program, 6-week challenge, and the person just has not come in to redeem that, even though they paid for it? How frustrating is that for you, right? I know it's very frustrating for me. That gap between the lead and client can only be filled by one thing, and that's follow-up. And so while we like to think that when people opt in for the free session, for the free week, for the 3 free workouts, for the 14-day fat furnace paid offer, for the low barrier offer of 21 days or 6 weeks, we like to think that they're going to come in and use that program since they just paid for it, they asked for it, they registered for it, enrolled for it. Quite honestly, 78% of the time, that is not the fact. And the reason is because life gets in their way. And not only are they busy, at least so they think they are, not only do they blame their spouses and their kids and their work, but they also blame your session times. They might look at your workout times and go, oh, I'll have to go next week because this week won't work with my workout times. And next week becomes next month becomes next year. Before you know it, they're 25 pounds heavier, and the year has gone by. Yeah, they paid you whatever, $89 for your low barrier offer, but that's all you got from them, when in reality you could have sold them a higher priced, longer term program that would have cost anywhere from $2,400 to, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 for the year. And you simply missed out on that opportunity. They, of course, missed out on the opportunity of getting fit, getting healthier, having a better mindset, more confidence, more strength, more energy. So it's a lose-lose proposition when people come into your funnel but never have the opportunity to sit across from you and get converted into a client. And it's a frustrating opportunity for you, because you want to do your job, but until they actually contact you, you can't. Well, the fact of the matter is, the ball is still in your court when they opt in. When they opt in for that, to get on your email list for the free trial and give you their phone number and name. When they buy a program through your shopping cart, a low barrier offer, and you have their name, email, phone number, it's up to you to follow up. And so what I'm going to teach you is this little thing called the monster follow up, right? So some of the frustrations that you're gonna have is, or you're gonna hear from them, is that they're too busy, right? that they missed your email or for whatever reason they missed your call, right? And so you end up getting frustrated because you call them and you email them and you haven't heard back and you don't have time for this. What do you do? Well, sometimes they buy a program and they just didn't show up, right? Or they're going to come in and use it, but later. They're not going to do it now, right? It really can get downright frustrating. But this monster follow-up process that I'm going to teach you is the solution. And the solution is real simple. And here's how I define the monster follow-up process. It is a relentless and obsessive prospect follow-up process using every tool. I got the word every twice, I see. Whoops, I got the word twice. Using every tool and technology available in order to set the appointment, confirm the show, and make the sale. So let me say that again to drive this home for you. The monster follow-up process is a relentless and obsessive prospect follow-up process using every tool and technology available to you in order to not only set the appointment for them to come in, but to confirm that they are going to show up and for you to make that sale. Because without the sale, nothing gets done. They don't get results, you don't make money and have the freedom and lifestyle that you want, and your gift, your passion, your purpose goes unsatisfied, right? And that is a doggone shame. So how does the monster follow-up work? Well, let's talk about this. Number one, it's a 3-day follow-up process. And day one, so you're going to want to take notes on this. Of course, we're recording this, but you're better off taking notes because here now we're getting into the meat of the monster follow-up process. I want you to understand that your job is not just to market and sell. The biggest component of the market and sell piece is that little thing that's wedged in between, which is the follow-up. And today, people are busier than ever. Lives are faster than ever. People are getting more information, more bits of technology are coming into them. Text messages, cell phones ringing, Twitter's twitting, Instagram is Instagramming, Facebook's dinging at them, right? Snapchat is doing God knows what. They do not have the time, desire, or will to respond to you and take action, even though they want to lose the flub and get in shape and be in the best possible health that they can. The fact of the matter is the temptations of procrastinating are higher than ever. So you have the responsibility of following up, and it is your entrepreneurial discipline. It should be within your entrepreneurial discipline to follow up. The 8-figure business that I run currently is all based on follow-up. You might see a whole bunch of my ads on Facebook, and depending on the product or service or company, I spend anywhere from $40,000 a month to $32,000 a month on Google. So Facebook, $40,000 a month, Google, $32,000 a month. And here's the crazy thing is that it's not all the marketing that we do. It is the follow-up that gets us the money. It is the people upstairs in my office calling diligently, relentlessly, obsessively, and setting that appointment to close a franchise, to close a mastermind program, to make a sale on a retreat that I'm going to do, right? Those are the things. The follow-up process is the thing that sets the appointment. And then the relentless and obsessive confirmation process is the thing that gets them to show up to that call. So our closers, or myself in this case, can make that call. I can be on the phone with someone doing what I do best, which is selling the value and service that I've created to change lives, right? So in your particular case, you have an obligation, a moral obligation, a duty, you should be disciplined to follow up relentlessly and obsessively. And on day one, here's what you're going to do. As soon as someone opts in, if all you have is a name and email address, then man, you are going to do everything you can to get in front of them using that name and email address. If you have a name, email address, and phone number because they bought a low barrier offer, then here's what you're going to do, right? Day one is going to consist of 2 phone calls and 2 emails. Now, phone call number 1 has to be, that's weird, I'm getting some feedback here. I don't know if that is normal. Let me take a look at this real quick. All right, everything looks fine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shut off my volume there. Can you let me know in the question box that you guys can still hear me there and see my voice even though I turned off the audio on my end? Yes, fantastic. You guys rock. Thank you. All right, onward. I was getting feedback and it was irritating me. So what you're going to do then is you are going to follow up on day one with 2 phone calls and 2 emails, right? This is if someone bought a low barrier offer through your shopping cart. They should have entered their phone number. If you do not have that phone number box mandatory, make it mandatory. You will make more money. You will triple and quadruple your revenue without any more marketing just by doing this monster follow-up process. I taught this to my 7-figure formula mastermind members a few months back, and they are absolutely thrilled by this and can't believe how much money they had left on the table because they thought that people were busy, were flakes, were whatever, when in reality they just didn't know that it's up to them. It's on their shoulders to follow up and get that person to set the appointment, and it's up to them to confirm the appointments, and it's up to them to get them to show up to that appointment. So the formula follow-up is recency and frequency. What I mean by that is as soon as someone has filled out a form, right, a shopping cart or whatever, has contacted you, has emailed you, if you can get to them within the first 15 minutes, that is your golden hour, right? In the emergency room, they call it the golden hour. When the paramedics get to someone, get them to the ER within the golden hour, their chance of survival is something like 4 times higher. Well, in our business, if you can get to someone's question, comment, shopping cart receipt, call them, email them, follow up with them within the first 15 minutes of that submission form, you have a higher chance, in fact, a 7 times higher chance of getting them to show up and to become a client. So thing number 1 you're going to do is you're going to call them right away, as soon as the order comes in, right? Or the opt-in comes in. If the opt-in is obviously for 3 free workouts, you're not asking for an email or phone number, because if you do, then the response rate is going to drop. By the way, when you have an opt-in, now on our FitBody Bootcamp sites, we just go for their email address. Why? Because it's only for 3 free workouts, and then we have an autoresponder sequence that follows up, and we've taught our FitBody Bootcamp owners to follow up relentlessly via email. So we know that if we put a name field and a phone number field, yeah, the person will be much more qualified if they fill out all 3 fields, and the FitBody owner has the opportunity to call. However, we then stop building the list as quickly as we were. So it's a give and take. So I'm a big fan of having an opt-in for a couple of free workouts where you just ask for an email address, but then on your low barrier offers, make sure you check off the box in your shopping cart that says it's mandatory that they give you their phone number so that you can follow up with them via phone and email. So the first thing you're going to do on day 1, as soon as that application or shopping cart receipt comes in, is you're going to give them a call right away. And I'll give you the script for that in just a minute. But it's basically, you're going to call and let them know who you are, where you're from, why you're calling, and what they need to do next, right? So the script will go something like this. Hi, my name is Bedros Keuilian, and I'm calling from Chino Hills FitBody Bootcamp. And the reason I'm calling is because you just purchased the 14-day Fat Furnace program off our website, which you probably found on Facebook, right? Right. Well, I wanted to make sure that we have the opportunity to schedule you for your first workout. Do you want to come in tomorrow or the next day for your first workout, right? So you get on the phone and you tell them who you are, where you're from, why you're calling, and then what they need to do next. We need to schedule your first workout because our workout sessions are filling up fast. Our 14-day Fat Furnace program was super popular, right? You want to build that urgency factor, right? Now, if you have to leave that as a voicemail, totally fine. Then you're going to follow up with an email right away. The email is essentially going to say the same thing, right? The same thing. Now, if you got to them within the first 15 minutes or first hour, whenever, obviously the first 15 minutes is the sweet spot, but let's say they filled out the form at, midnight, and you got to them the next morning, or your assistant got to them the next morning, right? Well, great. And they picked up the phone right away. That's it. You did your job. You don't need to do the rest of this. You don't need to do the 2 emails and 2 calls to still set an appointment, because once you set the appointment, mission accomplished, right? But otherwise, you're going to make a call, follow up with an email that says the same thing, right? And then what you're going to do on day 1 is about 4 to 6 hours later, you're going to follow up with another call in the early evening and follow up with another email, right? But Bedros, that sounds a little obsessive. That sounds a little excessive, and that sounds a little like harassment. No, it's not. You're doing your job. Stop reading into things. Stop overthinking it. Stop trying to make less money and get into this relentless obsessive state of following up. People will appreciate you for it. Your income, your family, your mortgage, your lifestyle, your health will appreciate you for it when you have more money and freedom. And their spouses, their kids, themselves, they will appreciate you because you got their ass into your facility, you got them on a program, and you changed their lives because you are the gosh darn best fitness professional in that town, right? If not in that state or province. And so you have an obligation to follow up relentlessly. We're not following up relentlessly to sell them crack or cocaine. We're following up relentlessly to sell them fitness. We are offering an extension on your life. We are offering a better quality of life. And for that, my friend, I am willing to go relentless on your ass. I am willing to go obsessive on your ass. I'm willing to go to the line so that I can get you in, so that I can change your life, and so that you can give me the equivalent money that will enhance and improve my lifestyle. Does that make sense? This is how I want you to reframe your thinking and go away from this whole thing of, but aren't I really being a harassment if I call them and email them twice a day? No, you're not. All right, so you got that? You know what you're doing on day one? Perfect. Let's move on. So if no response, you're going to follow up, right? We talked about that with another call and another email at the end of the day. Now, how does a monster follow-up work again? Day two. On day two, you're going to send one email, and you're going to, again, who you are, what you do. I know it sounds repetitive. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, but you're going to do this. You're going to send one email on who you are, where you're from, why you're calling, or while you're emailing in this case, and what they need to do next, a call to action. Never, ever, ever send out an email, a Facebook message, or a text message without a call to action. I swear I will somehow find out, and I will come over there and I will break your little fingers to type that email or text or Facebook message. A call to action is mandatory in everything you do, because without a call to action, now they know who you are, they know why you're calling, and they know where you're calling from, but they'll get around to calling you whenever. But if you say, call me now because I've reserved a time slot for you at 7 a.m. tomorrow or 4 p.m. tomorrow evening, and I want to give you one of those two time slots that I reserved. Call me at this phone number now, ASAP, as soon as you get this, so I can then give you one of those time slots and open up the other one for another client or member of our community. They are going to take action a lot faster, aren't they, than if you just don't give a call to action. Does that make sense? So on day two, you're sending out that email, right? You're following it up with a call. You've got their phone number, so you're going to text them. All right, you ready for this? But Brados, I don't know if that's a cell phone. I mean, what if it's their home number? I mean, what am I texting? Should I somehow check some database to see if that's a phone number before I text them? No, who gives a fuck, right? You are going to text them. You're going to text that phone number because it is a phone number, and you're going to text them. If it doesn't get through, oh well, it's lost in outer space. If it does get through, fantastic. We did all 3 of 3 so far, and then on day 2, we're going to follow up with the Facebook message. Now you're probably wondering, Pedros, do I do this throughout the day? Because day 2 involves 4 different things: to send an email to Mrs. Jones, to call her, and then to text her, and then to send her a Facebook message. No, absolutely not. You're going to have your admin or your assistant do all of them. They're going to get obsessive. They're going to get relentless on all 4 things. They're going to send out an email. Bam! As soon as they hit send on the email, they're going to make the call. Who they are, where they're calling from, why they're calling, what needs to be done next, right? With enthusiasm, with passion, with purpose, right? And then if Mrs. Jones picked up, fantastic. Mission accomplished. If she didn't, it went to voicemail, it left that on voicemail, fantastic. Going to send a text message, and I've got a sample text message I'm going to show you, man, right? So you're going to get this right. And then after the text message, you're going to follow up with the Facebook message. Yeah, but Bedros, we're not friends yet. And so if we're not friends on Facebook, there's that other email inbox on Facebook that it goes to, that other folder. No one ever checks that. Who gives a flying turkey, right? Nobody cares. I don't care. Listen, I am the busiest man on the planet, and I check my other inbox every now and again. And if I can do that, others do that as well. And even if they don't, the fact that we force multiplied our opportunity for them to get in contact with us by sending them 4 points of contact is a good thing, right? So don't worry about what message box it's going into, all right? Just do it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? All right then. So what do? We keep the text message and that Facebook message short, punchy, and enthusiastic, right? Short, punchy, and enthusiastic. Man, I have tested out because I have closed multi-thousand-dollar deals off text messages and Facebook messages. I still do. I closed Fit Body Bootcamp ownership. I closed seven-figure mastermind membership, info mastermind membership, private consulting sessions for $19,000 for a full day spent with me, right? All on text message and Facebook message. I've done it all, and I know what type of messaging works. Your text messages and your Facebook messages are going to be short, punchy, and enthusiastic. You're going to tell them again who you are. Whoa, what's going on there? My screen's getting wonky. You're going to tell them who you are. You're going to tell them where you're calling from. You're going to tell them why you're calling. And of course, what to do next. Make sense? And I'm going to give you an example of that. So, ready? Here goes. All right, this one I believe is a text message. And we'll start off something like this. Hi, this is Bedros with Chino Hills Fit Body Bootcamp, texting you about the 14-day Fat Furnace program you signed up for yesterday. Do you have 60 seconds for a call to schedule your first workout? Right? You see that? Happy face, exclamation point at the end of Fit Body Bootcamp, right? We really want to make sure that we show enthusiasm, right? We really want to make sure that we show enthusiasm, because if we don't, then um, they're going to look at it as some kind of like marketing text message that they get probably from like Walmart or Amazon or whatever, right? And you don't want to be compared to those things. You want to let them know that you're calling from a local business, Chino Hills Fit Body Bootcamp, or wherever the heck you are, right? And why you're calling or texting. You know what goal you want to achieve, right? You want to you want to schedule that first workout, and then a happy face. I haven't seen a happy face from when I get those random text messages from like Amazon or Walmart or whatever, right? Because it's not a human sending it out, it's a machine. Lord knows they can program a machine to do that, but they're too dumb to do that. But not you. We're going to do it. All right, now here's a Facebook message. You ready for this? The Facebook message is very similar. Hi, this is Bedros with Chino Hills Fit Body Bootcamp, contacting you about the 14-day fat loss program you signed up for yesterday, or whenever they did. Can you do your first workout tomorrow, or in the next day, or is the next day better? Very excited to get you started, exclamation point, happy face, right? Enthusiasm. We have to get that across. Why? Because the number one thing people are lacking in their life is enthusiasm. Everybody is living a numb, not you, because you're a person that dominates your path and you have a purpose and you are on your path. But everybody else is numb. They're operating in the gray zone with no color, and it is your job to be the human paintbrush and add color to their lives and excitement to their lives. And the only way you and I can do that is through the power of enthusiasm. So then, what is this? This is day 3, the shock and awe day. You ready for this? On day 3, you're going to send out 2 emails, right? Now, the orders I got all twisted up for you, but that doesn't much matter. You send out an email, and so it's 2 emails, 2 calls, 2 text messages, right? And 1 Facebook message. Oh my God, Bedros, that sounds excessive. Like, that sounds like they might actually call the police and get a restraining order. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I will personally bail you out if they send a restraining order and arrest you. I will bail you out of your local jail or prison. I guess once you have a prison sentence, you're screwed. So don't go to prison. But if it's a local jail, I will bail you out. If it's for this reason, if you go do something stupid, I can't bail you out. But I digress. Day 3. We're going to send out an email. We're going to follow that email up with a call. We're going to follow that call up with a text message. Now again, if they reply to the email, cool. If they reply to the call or they pick up the phone when you call, totally fine. Then you're done. Mission accomplished, right? If not, you keep going. You follow that call up with a text message. And then of course you follow that text message up with a Facebook message. You wait a few hours, you haven't heard back, no worries. You tell assistant or admin or yourself, you're going to do another email, another call, and 1 more text message, but you are not going to do another Facebook message. See, even I have my limits. Why? Because we don't want to Facebook message someone so much that Facebook goes, hey, this person's sending a lot of messages, we're going to ban their account. Now you have to do a shit ton of that in one day or a couple days for Facebook to do that. And typically they'll give you a warning, but I don't even want you to come close to that line, right? So we're going to take it easy on the Facebook messages. What you're going to do, the formula as I've cooked up here for you, because I'm giving you the recipe for the most delicious chocolate cake you've ever eaten. And as long as you put the right ingredients at the right time and the right amounts, and you cook it for the right amount of time in the oven, you're going to have the most delicious chocolate cake. So if you try and go and take the monster follow-up process that I've created here for you, and you tweak it, modify it, massage it, and change it, it is not going to work. So you must follow the recipe. All right. So this is the day. Day 3 is the day that you want to make sure that you get in front of them any way possible, because this is a Hail Mary day. At this point, if you weren't able to get in front of them, to get them on the phone, get them to respond to an email, Facebook message, text, then they go into day 4, which is a 1-week autoresponder sequence. And over 7 days, you're going to send out the following 4 emails. I'm just going to give you the subject lines, and then you're going to write the emails, right? I'm going to give you the topic of the email. Day 1, your subject line is, hey, comma, can you call me? Question mark. Hey, can you call me? And it's pretty much going to be, it's not a response you're going to set up. So you're going to take that person's email address, drop them right in there. You're going to write the email just like you did earlier, right? Hey, who you are, what you do, where you're calling from, why you're calling, right? Now, I get it. If someone signed up on a 14-day, a 21-day, a 6-week free trial, you're like, how many autoresponder sequences do I need to have? So you're going to keep it vague. So the part where you go, the reason I'm emailing you, you're going to say, the reason I'm emailing you is you signed up to come try our program out, right? And you can now use that for 1 free workout, for a week free workout, 14-day fat furnace, low barrier offer, 21-day, 28-day, 6-week, right? You signed up to try a workout out. That's the reason you're contacting them. And your call to action is give me a call or reply to this email as quickly as you can. Here's my phone number, or reply to this email so we can activate your first workout and help you lose weight. And then you're going to go into benefits, not features. Features are what? We're air conditioned. We have the best squat racks in town. We have TRX straps. Those are all features. No one cares about features. We want benefits. We want to schedule your first session so you can be on your way to weight loss, to getting a flatter tummy, to having more energy, greater confidence, and of course, to be strong, because strong is the new sexy, right? So day 1 email is that. You're going to let day 2 go by. Day 3 autoresponder is going to be, do you know this woman? That's her subject line. And of course, the topic of the email is a client success case study email, right? So I've talked about case study emails before. You're going to learn about them, how to structure them in past webinars that I've done that you're going to access in the vault. But you're going to do a client case study, and your subject line is going to be, do you know this woman? And at the end of this case study, and all this is demonstration of proof. You're putting social proof in front of this person, right? Because we know one thing about them. They've signed up for something, whether it's free or paid, low barrier offer, and they haven't used them. So we want to get their attention in any way possible. And if one reason that they haven't come in and contacted you is because they don't know if you would work or not, they don't know if you're going to be a good fit or not, they don't quite believe that you might be able to get them results, by putting a client success story, case study, email in front of them, right? Demonstrating proof. And if you can add a picture to that, man, oh man, you are solid. All right? Now, day 5, so you're going to skip day 4. Day 5 autoresponder is, want 3 free workouts? So whatever it is they got, it doesn't matter. We're going to use the subject line, because the subject line works. Even if they got 3 free workouts, even if they bought 21 6-week free 6 weeks of workouts, we're going to say 1, 3 free workouts. Remember, at this point, we're now some nearly 10 days away from the time they bought or opted in for whatever, right? And so you can say 1, 3 free workouts. And of course, the email is going to be, hey, this is Bedros Keuilian from Chino Hills Fit Body Bootcamp. The reason I'm emailing you is I want to let you know that I've reserved 3 free workouts for you. And all you need to do is come and let me know, or call me or email me and let me know if you want to start today for your first of 3 workouts, or tomorrow. Here are the benefits that you're going to get when you come work out here at Chino Hills Fit Body Bootcamp, right? So that's really it. I mean, that's really it. You're not even going to mention the program that they bought or whatever, because remember, this is an autoresponder sequence. And so we'll worry about that later. If they contact you and they go, hey, yeah, calling about the 3 free workouts that you offered me, that's great. But listen, I think I bought like a 21-day program from you about a week ago. Oh, yeah. I've got you in the thing here. So we'll do the 21 days and I'll add these 3 extra days to it, right? And so now you'll have 24 days. Do you want to come in now, later tonight, or tomorrow for your first workout? Get them in there. Get them committed. You know what I'm saying? And of course, day 7 is, did I miss your call? Question mark. Another great subject line, and the email is going to go, hey, this is Bedros Keuilian from Chino Hills Fit Body Boot Camp. I got here into the facility and I saw that I had a missed call. I didn't recognize the phone number, but I see it's a local number. I know that you had registered to try our workouts here and then you list off the benefits where we deliver X benefits. However, I just wanted to follow up. Did I miss your call? Is this you? Because I know you haven't come in yet to try the program out yet. And so give me a call at this number or reply to this email and we'll schedule your first of 3 workouts, right? That's it. You got your 7 autoresponders. It works for everything from 1 free trial to a 6-week transformation, low barrier offer. And then you are golden, right? Make sense? Good. Now, why is it important, by the way, guys? Why is it so important for you to use this monster follow-up process? Let me tell you why. Because when someone is on the hunt for something, like I recently bought, what did I buy? I bought something from Amazon. But before I bought it from Amazon, I ended up checking like 4 different websites, right? Now, if I gotten the information faster from any one of those 4 websites, I would have just bought it from there. For me, it wasn't a money issue because what I was buying, I think it was a pair of new Converse or something. It wasn't a money issue. It was more of an issue of I knew I want all the facts on this new style of Converse, right? And of course, what I like about Amazon is they have reviews. And a lot of other sites have reviews, but Amazon has the most reviews. And so you get to hear from people who have bought it, worn it, kind of give you feedback on it. But if this other site gave me the feedback better, faster, and satisfied my needs, I would have purchased from there. So my point to you is when someone is on the hunt for a fitness or fat loss program, whether they're perusing websites, doing Google searches, you don't know how they're finding your stuff, finding it on Facebook, right? Going through Yelp for local fitness centers. They're not just looking for you. They're not just contacting you. Soon as they emailed or filled out a form on your website, they move on to the next website, next trainer's website, next gym, Zumba, boot camp, personal training, CrossFit. They're doing, right? So then it becomes a race of whoever contacts them the first with the most enthusiasm in the most professional manner in the most obsessive, relentless way is the one who's going to win their business. So it is imperative. It is mandatory. It is your obligation and your duty to follow up with a quickness because otherwise they are going to fall in the hands of the wrong fitness center who is likely going to either hurt them, not give them the results, and then tarnish our name as an industry. And of course, you're not going to be able to get the money and the business and the opportunities that you want by working with them. Make sense? So it really is important. So I want you to remember that when a form comes in, you're not going to wait a day or 2 to contact people because odds are they're reaching out to 10 other boot camps or gyms in the area. You want to be the one to contact them and go, hey, I'm ready. Let's do this. I got you, boo. Right? Great. So once you've set the appointment, because all of that, the monster follow-up was just to set the appointment, right? Once the appointment is set, it's time to confirm, right? So if I've got Antonio, for example, I know Antonio's on this webinar. If I've got Antonio, for example, confirmed, on day 2, I finally was able to get a text message back from him and say, yes, I will come in Thursday. And I will come in Thursday at 7 a.m. for my first workout. Cool, man. That's awesome. I got you in the books. All right, here's our phone number. Here's our email address. Antonio, I am going to call and email you and text you the night before to remind you, right? I'm going to let him know that as I set the appointment. And then what you're going to do, right? Because remember, just because you have an appointment set doesn't mean that they're going to show up. You know what I mean? Just because there's an appointment set doesn't mean they're going to show up, right? So just because they bought a low barrier offer from you doesn't mean that they're going to contact you to set an appointment. Well, once you have an appointment set, doesn't mean that they're going to show up. So your job is to confirm and get them to show up. I know you're like, man, this is really, yeah, welcome to being an entrepreneur, baby cakes. But the good news is we entrepreneurs control the world and we control our economy, right? So be happy, be proud, because no one could ever fire you as an entrepreneur, right? Now, so what are you going to do? Antonio's set for Thursday at 7 a.m. I'm going to call him the night before, right around 4, 5, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., up to 8 p.m., right? I'm going to call him, text him, and send him an email the evening before to confirm. I'm going to say, Antonio, this is Bedros Keuilian from Chino Hills, or this is Bedros' assistant, Sally, from Chino Hills Fit Body Boot Camp. You have your first workout for your 14-day fat furnace tomorrow morning, scheduled tomorrow morning, Thursday at 7 a.m. Looking forward to seeing you here. Don't do the whole, if you can't make it, let me know. Fuck that, right? Don't plant that seed into their head of can't make it. Again, I will come through this computer and I will choke you out if you let them know that if you can't make it. It's all about, we're excited to see you. I'm pumped up and motivated to see you because I am here to change your life. Tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., you turn a corner in your life. We are excited. We are going to roll out the red carpet. And when you come into your first workout, you're going to come 10 minutes early because we need you to fill out a liability release and a PAR-Q so we can learn all about you and give you the fastest, best results possible. So see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Please let me know that you got this message. Goodbye. Boom, right? That's it. Now, if Antonio was scheduled for, let's say, 6 p.m. on Thursday, guess what I would do? I would confirm with him on Wednesday night, and then I would once again confirm with him Thursday morning, sometime before 12. I'd send another text message or a call or email. You can get a little obsessive like I do and do all three and just say, Antonio, just reconfirming because I'm super excited. Remember, enthusiasm is so cool, man. I want you to be Odie. Be Odie from Garfield. Remember Odie? Super excited, very pumped up to see everybody, right? I want you to. So Antonio would be pretty pissed if I'm like, hey man, listen, you're coming tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., right? Okay, just letting you know. All right, bye. And then if I call him again the next morning and like, hey man, just letting you know, like if I'm low tone and no energy, right? But if I'm like, Antonio, I had to text you, man. I'm super pumped up to see you tomorrow evening. So see you then, 6 p.m. It's on. And then the next day, right? Let's say 12 noon. I'm like, Antonio, before I go on my lunch break, I just want to text you, call you, and email you, let you know how excited I am to see you tonight at 6 p.m. for your first workout session. Remember, come in 10 minutes early. We're going to have an awesome workout. We're going to change your body, your health, your outlook on life. See you then, buddy, right? It's important to be that sense of enthusiasm. Remember, you are the colorful paintbrush, adding color to everybody's life. And the only way you can do that is through enthusiasm and by doing more than everyone else is doing. Does that make sense? Good. So if the appointment is later in the day, like I said, then you're going to confirm the evening before and the morning of, right? Very cool. Now, why are you going to do that? Because you can only close the person on a program when they show up. Make sense? Good. So in closing, man, let's do this to this. In closing, you must be relentless and obsessed about this monster follow-up process. And if you're going to do it, I know you'll do it well. But if you're going to have an admin or an assistant do it, just like that happens in my business here, then you're going to pass along how urgent and important it is that they do it with a level 10 on the relentless scale, and a level 10 on the obsessed scale, and a level 10 on the enthusiasm scale, right? You have to make sure that your assistant and admin know how important it is for them to follow the recipe as we have. And you will have such an amazing outcome in your business. Your show rate will go through the roof. Your appointment set rate will go through the roof. In fact, you'll even close bigger packages because people will come in so enthusiastic and so excited to meet you, right? It's just a given. It works. Of course, you're going to tell them who you are when you're contacting them, where you're from, why you're contacting them, and what to do next. You're going to be enthusiastic and high energy like Odie. You're going to be like a dog who just sees its owner every night when the owner comes from work and just excited, like we're meeting for the first time. I'm so happy to see you, right? You have to bring that level of energy. Listen, I've got 5 companies. I've got over 40 employees all over the country, some all over the world, in fact, right? I sell very high ticket items as well as, low price information products. You can imagine now with the PR company that we have, the demands I have on me for writing articles and doing news shows and stuff. I'm a pretty busy dude. But man, here it is, 8:30 in the morning in California, and I've been awake since 5 a.m. GSDing, and I will be awake and going at it till probably 7 or 8 o'clock tonight before I drive to San Diego for the Fit Body Bootcamp Mastermind. And every person I get in contact with today, from my staff to my family to my business partners to my clients and customers, they will see the best of me. They will see enthusiasm. They will feel high energy. I will be the dog that is happy and excited to see you because you deserve that, right? And so it doesn't matter that I'm doing a webinar at 8:30 in the morning. Doesn't matter. See, I've been up and I've been dominating my path, and this is my purpose and passion. And I went through this webinar and I said, what are the points that I want to put in here to drive home to them? What are the biggest things, the big takeaways that they can have from this webinar? This is it. The enthusiasm, the high energy, the be relentless, be obsessed. This is it. And then for you to pass this along to your staff so that they don't do it at a level 5, but they do it at a level 10. Because the amount of money you will make with the monster follow-up process when you do it at a level 5 is far less than the amount of money you will make when you do the monster follow-up process at a level 10. Does that make sense to you? Good. I'm happy to hear that. And above all, if I didn't stress this point enough, you need to be relentless and obsessed in your follow-up process. You just do. So then, let's take some questions. There I am a couple weeks ago from a recent surf trip to Doheny Beach and Dana Point, where actually if you see the guy way behind me, some of you might know him, J.R. Burgess. He's one of my private coaching clients. The guy sitting up on his board there behind me. J.R. Burgess, one of my private coaching clients. And what I like to do with my private coaching clients is we'll spend, half a day or a full day of coaching, but depending on the waves and the tides, we'll either surf early in the morning first, or we'll go surfing in the evening and then grab some food afterwards. Because I believe in getting some level of balance, as unbalanced as my life is. I believe in having some level of balance. So I like to take my clients out surfing. I kind of look at surfing as the new golf. So let's take some questions, guys. I will open this bad boy up. You're going to ask questions in that question and answer box. Let's see. Dustin says, woof, woof, I like that. All right, here we go. Megan, all right, launched my kids' fitness program schedule. All right, we made sure to have a morning, evening, and weekend time. Parents who were very interested say that none of those times and days are going to work. What you might want to do is survey those parents, Megan. Just a little informal survey on Facebook or something, wherever you have these parents, or maybe on an email list, and say, look, if I can give you 2 time slots, what 2 time slots would you want? And so instead of having a kind of a morning and evening and weekend times, just see what the majority want and give them those 2 time slots, and then corral them into those 2 time slots first. Because if you try and be everything to everyone, then you're going to have a bit of a hard time filling up your kids' fitness classes. Make sense? All right. Any other questions here, guys? Man, I feel like I might have answered everything. If you guys have any other questions, now is the time to ask it. I will gladly answer it for you. Antonio says, so at any point in the process, once you've contacted them, you stop all the emails and autoresponders. Yes, exactly. Soon as you have accomplished a mission, you stop taking action, right? You stop taking action in that regard. Yeah, very good question, Antonio. Bobby says, I'm working on getting an admin ASAP. In the meantime, by the way, guys, Bobby, here's a great way. If you just implement the monster follow-up process, right, all of you in your business, you can right now, today, get an assistant. You can get an assistant and they will pay for themselves at least 2, maybe 3 times over. Each month they will pay for themselves by simply doing the monster follow process, because they will just naturally put more people in your schedule book for you to close, and they'll pay for themselves. So there's no reason why any of us can't have an assistant, right? All right, so Bobby says, I'm working on getting an assistant right away. In the meantime, would I scale the follow-up a bit? What do you mean scale it? Or do it the best I can just do it the best you can between sessions, but I would make it a priority. I would make it a priority to get an assistant, right? But in the meantime, do the best you can and follow up whenever you can, even if it's a few hours later, right? Just because a few hours later doesn't mean you're not going to follow up. All right, Megan says, so email them about the 2 email time slots and post it on Facebook page. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what you're going to do, Megan. Just email them. And again, people are weird, man. You have to let them choose because there's this commitment consistency. So, Megan, I want you to either listen to or excuse me, buy the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. And one of the weapons of influencing the public, getting them to do what you want, getting people in general to do what you want. So this will work really well with Matt as well. All spouses can use it with their other spouse. Lord knows my wife probably uses it with me. Excuse me. You're going to read the book Influence, and you're going to see that there's one of the 6 weapons of influence is commitment and consistency. So if you ask 100 people, what are the 2 time slots that you want me to open up for your kids' workout sessions? And if 80 of them say, a 8 a.m. and a 4 p.m., then you go back to them and you go, great, I opened up 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Since they committed to that, they now have to be consistent and follow up and actually come and bring their kid into the program, right? So doing the survey is not only going to get you the right times anyway, it's also going to use the power of commitment and consistency, because as soon as they give you a time slot and then you make that time slot available and you go, hey, it's available, so come sign up and do the thing, there's no reason why they shouldn't, right? Rob says, what do you do when you've had someone come in regularly but drop off after 2 weeks? These are 2 women, they forget their card types. All right. When I try to sell them and have not come back in, they have not responded to my messages thus far. I would still do the follow up if they're like routine low barrier offer takers, right? Where they just come and do a low barrier offer and then bounce. And they do this. I look at it as if someone buys a low barrier offer, uh, you know, more than 3 times in a 6-month period, then they're on that list of, you can't do a low barrier offer for another whole year, as far as I'm concerned, because you've tried my program, you've tried it 3 times in the last 6 months, and if we're not right for you now, then we're probably never going to be right for you, right? So, you can, but until then, I would follow up like a monster. Dustin says, should you have your assistant message people on Facebook on their personal account or on my personal account? Oh, they would do it through your personal account. Yeah, yeah. Never have your assistant do anything through their personal account. It needs to be through your personal account. Even if you have to create a second personal account, Dustin, I have one that Joan reaches out to people for, and she actually reaches out to them as me, right? I've given her a script, and it works. Yeah. So you can absolutely do that. This way you can always go back and check up. Ronald Reagan had that saying, trust but verify. And I trust that my team is doing what I've asked them to do, but it's really good for me to verify and go into that Facebook account and check and make sure that, there's 100 outgoing messages and all the incoming messages have been answered. All right, great. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, now's the time to post it. If not, we're going to wrap this up, and we will have the recording of this webinar up probably within the next, I would say, 2 to 3 hours. We'll have it up on the site. Rob says, what do you recommend that I do when an EFT client's card bounces and refuses to come back in to meet? Well, if they're on EFT and they're on a contract, you have to remind them that they're on a 12-month contract, 18-month contract, and then let them know what the protocol is to get out of that contract. Otherwise, you're going to send them to collections. Now, would I send people to collections if I did it? In fact, I own a Fit Body Boot Camp in Ontario, California. Do we send people to collections? No. Why? Because at the end of the day, if they decide to go on Yelp and put a bad review, go on Facebook and run our name through the mud, then that's going to help us lose a lot more potential clients than that one person's EFT. But until then, I would push all the way to that line, and then, I hate to say it, but give up. Does that make sense? But you're still going to use that monster follow-up process to get all up their ass and get them to give you that credit card number. All right? All right, let's see here. Michael says, which low barrier offer wording do you feel is the best to target a male audience? You know what? I can't think of any now, but I bet if you post a few options on the Fitness Business Ignition Facebook group and tag me in it, I can go in there and use my magical copywriting skills to give you a good one. I'm better writing those things out and looking at them and massaging them in my head than just kind of blurting one out. And so if you want to do that, Michael, and then tag me, what I will do is go and look at all the different options that you've written and then give you a better versions of them. All right? All right, Rob says, how do you politely tell them to come in to finish their contract or else I will send them to collections? Yeah, you just do that. I mean, maybe you don't have to be super polite, right? So I would call you and say, hey, Rob, this is Bedros from Gino Hill's Fit Body Bootcamp. And look, you are on a 6-month agreement with me, and at $197 a month. We are 3 months into it. You still have 3 months to go. Your credit card is delinquent, and you haven't contacted us, and we've tried several times via email and phone to contact you. And so I was wondering if you can please make an effort to contact me and finish up your training program with us, update your payment information so that we can give you the results that you want. Otherwise, my office manager is forced to send your agreement into collections. And once it's in collections, it's out of my hands and I can't do anything with it. So here's my number. Please call me ASAP or just reply to this email, right? And that's really it. You're going to do that. And typically, I love using another bad guy, by the way, right? So I always like to say my office manager, or in our case, we actually have an AR department. So our accounts receivable department is going to send you to blah, blah, blah. I don't do that stuff anymore. But when I did, it was always me saying our office manager or our AR. So now, thankfully, I don't have to deal with that crap. But we still get it. Believe it or not, we have plenty of delinquent people just like you do in your business. All right. Michael says, sounds good. Fantastic. All right, guys, we are good to go. Thank you so much for joining me on this webinar today. I hope you got tremendous value from it. Remember, the most value you can get from this is when you take massive action on it. So go and take massive action on the monster follow-up process. Use it relentlessly and obsessively, and I will talk to you on Facebook. Take care.